Sherlock Holmes, but let's get back into the game and see where we left off. I super don't remember. It is a Sunday, so I might do one of the main quest storylines today, actually, even if they involve combat. Oh, which I'm going to be rusty on, and I already suck at it. I hate the combat in this game. Hate it. Law, you couldn't see that, but it said a good way to let police officers know they're incompetent is by solving their cases for them. Leaking. All right. Let's see. Oh, I can do this real quick. Well, let's do memory real quick. And then we can start a case. So let's see. Let's go to our home, Stonewood Manor. Fucking rich kid. Also, I'm still in police officer uniform, and I probably ought to change. Obviously, wardrobe change, super important. Let's go jacket on today. No hat, because look at his hair. His hair is wonderful. And what is John wearing? Let's put John back in his regular clothes. All right. Back to normal.
Oh, the room looks nice now. It's comforting to see the way it was meant to be.
Oh, it's all cleaned up now. Not all like a mess from this one. I remembered a button.
My mother always preferred to spend her rare moments of lucidity with me. That's true. She even stopped Mycroft from joining you. Remember?
That's sad.
He didn't show it, but he was upset. I think Mother paid more attention to me as I was younger.
I'm disappointed that the ballerina is not spinning. I mean, the bathtub is still not cleaned up. Oh, what we got here? What is that thing? Oh, we already did this. I guess that's it.
You're not obliged to be here, Sherry. You can leave any time you want.
Oh, painting.
Looks like it was damaged by a blunt.
No, we already did that. What else is new?
This room always reeked of an acrid medicinal stench. And here is the reason.
Can't be it. I mean, like, can it? Oh yeah, I guess so. For now. Right. Okay, so let's see. Sacrificial lamb is the case we want to be on. Another invitation from Vogel. Dear Mr. Holmes, I'm waiting for you at Kurt Manchios' mansion on Turquoise Lane across from Cardona Abbey in northern Grand Surrey. Come at once. If inconvenient, come anyway. Always your friend, VV. P.S. I sent you the appropriate outfit for this place to avoid any unnecessary complications. Hope it fits. Okay. What did we get? No. Was that it? I don't know. Let's go over there and then see. Okay, so Turquoise Lane across from Cardona Alley in Grand Surrey. It's gonna be on this side. Maybe? No? Am I blind? That's possible. It's always possible. Turquoise Lane. North of the Abbey. Alright. Meow, meow, meow. No, I don't know why I made that sound. No, I don't know what that sound was. But you know what? It happened. Oh, my nose is so itchy today. Alright, let's fast travel to the theater, because it is the closest. Meow, meow, meow. And then there I go, doing it again. No reason. What's down here? Oh, bandit layer. No, I don't care about that. If I never have to do those, that's fine by me. Never wanna do it. So then it's gotta be this one.
Welcome to the Manchus Mansion.
Oh, this is the Prince of Darkness thing. Okay, so we need to change our clothes to wear that and this mask. And I hate it. Thanks, I hate it.
May I ask you something? I have nothing to hide, sir, but I've never heard of this.
Okay, I shouldn't have talked to him. Random dude. Can't go over that wall. I guess we just go in.
Welcome, sir. I do hope you enjoy yourself.
Some freaky sex orgy party, maybe. Bunch of rich people being weird.
Enjoy the evening, sir. There is still plenty of time for the grand finale.
All right.
How is Vogel gonna know it's me? I'll be asking all the weird questions.
What if I write an article about these people here? Can you help me gather information about Cordonia's elite?
Look at this man's outfit. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's see what got updated. Well, just that. Okay.
Do you know what was here before Manchiosa's family bought it?
Alright. The eerie history of the mansion. No, it's not going to be an auction. Magic circle? No. Occultist architect. Mysterious disappearance. Oh, I got one wrong. Yay me. Before Manchiosa's family, the mansion was owned by an occultist architect. He dedicated his life to conducting a powerful ritual from the Forgotten Tome. But the ordinary magic circles proved too weak for it. That was why he built this mansion. A keen eye might notice that its shapes correspond with certain magical symbols, and some walls have cavities. One day, the architect simply disappeared. An ash stain on the floor was all that remained. Perhaps he was successful in his endeavor.
That's what I like about this party. Bring me more dirt, Sherry.
Oh.
More peace, and I can expose the base hedonists. Curtains do not guarantee privacy. And you still need a crack despite being a theory.
Gonna slow walk around, see if there's anybody else to eavesdrop on.
My goodness, Sherlock. They made a blood fountain. No, John, it's definitely not blood, just wine. Cohors, I guess.
Cohors. Wow. Let's enjoy the art.
Vogel's gallery has a backer, I see.
Oh. Okay, that was evidence, but this one's not. This one's a way better painting, in my opinion. I should say. Art is subjective after all. I like the ones that go over the archways. I think that's neat. It's just neat.
Manchios had to enforce the mask.
After the scandal. No. No. Cheating groom. No. Offended Duchess. Political crisis. I did get two wrong, but I still made it in the first try. So that wasn't for that.
Manchios had to enforce the masks after the scandal.
Oh, did I not? Maybe I needed more. Oh. What?
Manchios had to enforce the masks.
Okay. No. Fired after incident. No.
Manchios had to
Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't get it first try, even though it circled all of them, which is weird. Okay, we'll do offended Duchess. Political crisis. Fired? Why didn't it let me select 4 before? It just ended at 3. Maybe I don't know. That was weird. People described a scandal from a previous party. Vice Governor Cowden was found by his wife-to-be, a Prussian duchess, in the company of young men. Although the marriage was intended to be a political one, the emotions of the duchess were real. The incident instigated a political crisis between Cordona and Prussia. Although there were only a few notes of protest, the governor fired his protege.
I'll pin them down with this scoop. Thank you, Sherlock.
Yeah. Rumor has it. That was the name of the achievement I just got. All right. What's over here? And the art. Oh, it's beautiful.
Sherlock, friend.
Hey.
Sure you can.
Oh, I guess he knew because he picked my mask, but it's very kabuki-esque.
Werner, I see you are not yourself.
The more time you spend here in Cordona, the more I feel it my duty to bring you into our world and show you all we have to offer.
Oh, look at that gorgeous
On
painting.
offer to you. Pleasure, indulgence, relief, and relaxation. You've earned some time for yourself, have you not?
So you would say I'm incapable of it.
Nonsense. I refuse to believe there is anyone permitted to know Sherlock Holmes.
You may be right.
Then free yourself from inhibition and expectation. The night is young, and so are the guests. You should try to enjoy both.
As long as all parties are consenting.
Men to spend every night alone, and certainly not in a house filled with such melancholic memories.
I must admit, my travels have proven more taxing than expected. I'm less confident in my life. Myself. Time of relaxation seems just a dream.
So can I tempt you with physical aid to your moral consolations?
Oh, this is how he develops his bad habit.
Mine. 7% solution of, well, that'd be telling, but you must try it.
My mind already operates at a far higher level than most. I struggle to believe anything can improve it. My ultimate duty is to provide the world with truth, and I do that very well as is.
Beauty? I've never cared about that before.
Of course I do. Exposing a lie, revealing a fact, that is a moral responsibility.
That's not morality. Morals are what happens afterwards when truth collides with consequence. Do you ever follow up on cases you solved? Do you ever see what happened next? Visit victims?
Yeah.
Ensure
Check the
justice
newspapers.
served in cause? And how do you choose where to direct your attention? Are there not deserving causes to which your brilliance could be applied, but isn't?
You ascribe me more power than I possess. I have a narrow skill set and work within that mandate. What occurs afterward is irrelevant.
With every action or inaction, you place a finger on the scales of morality. Many in the city would see you as abdicating your responsibility.
I haven't.
Not me, of course. Morality is subjective, just like truth. There is little to be gained from indulging in it, and far better things to indulge in. Now I must insist on easing any burdens I've placed upon your shoulders. Show yourself a
I like that
kindness.
random puffs of smoke are coming from
Concoction.
somewhere. He doesn't appear to be smoking anything.
This solution truly does assist with thinking, then perhaps it would be puerile to overlook an opportunity to study it. I'll take it with me.
Yes, Sherlock. Very good. And now, our evening begins in earnest. I just remembered. I'm sorry, Sherlock. My mind's...
Of course, there's a crime to be solved.
Please take this key. It opens the altar room, past the library.
Puzzle. Alter. What now, Vernon?
Go quickly and find our Fabio. Only you can make him talk. I'll join you in a minute.
Talk about what? Way to tell us nothing. What do we get here? Oh, John's article. Wallowing in Mud with Cordona's Elite by John. Have you noticed that pigs are always somewhere to be found around filth? The same can be said about certain members of Cordona's elite found at the Manchios mansion. The cream of society has a thirst for lust, dirt, and nefarious deeds. Perverse, corrupt officials prefer to solve political issues behind velour curtains. Cowden, the vice governor, for example, his political marriage collapsed internal affairs with Prussia. Where do you suppose this took place? At a party of Mr. Kurt Manchios. Not to mention that this puddle of waste is being nurtured in a mansion that once belonged to a crazed architect. A place where every shape and edge has a cult meaning. Cordona's elite feels safe and fine there, to be sure. This is a short summary of a single evening, but I'm sure there is more to uncover. However, my hard work won't affect the run of my newspaper. John, the journalist. That's cute. All right, well. That's yeah. Oh wait, did we just turn around? Was that a dead end? It is a dead end. Okay. So what's over here? Books.
Well-known and recent plays to keep up to date with the current trends.
Look at all these beautiful, wonderful
These
books.
medieval botany and chemistry books look even more satanic than the occult ones. Romantic poetry and prose. Someone's in touch with their feelings. Romantic poetry
Oh.
and prose.
I was trying to do this one.
Codex Orchis. Why does this occult book sound like a flower?
This is very close to Orchid. Obviously. Oh. That's pretty. That's a very pretty dagger, though. anything to look at besides the body? Obviously, I will look at the
The
body.
herbs here are Salvia divinorum. Have a slight hallucinogenic effect to emphasize the ceremony. This elaborate box must be for the ritual dagger. This oil has a slight aroma of flowers and olive. The ointment smells mouse-like. I presume it is an aphrodisiac prepared from the Spanish fly.
Mouse-like.
This one looks like a twisted symbol of Venus, drawn in a hurry. The sign reminds me of the astrological symbol for Mars.
Oof.
A blunt force trauma may have suffered an internal hemorrhage. This worm-like sigil has been drawn with his own blood.
Oh,
This
this
crude
is like...
tattoo partially covers a slave branding. This golden handle has a bloodstain on it.
And a dragon?
The dagger is heavy and sharp, but lacks balance.
Danis would have hated it.
The wound is deep. A precise strike reached the heart.
Precise, huh?
The victim has clenched the fabric so firmly in his fist that it's now impossible to remove. Right here.
Okay. That's not a clue. Handprint on the wall with blood. Not a clue. Fine. Oh, it's a mirror. Whoa. Is he a vampire? Cigars.
Enough cigars to burn down the entire mansion.
Blood.
An open wound spoiled the carpet.
Spoiled the carpet.
Why don't people tidy up after themselves? Blood. A sturdy bottle met a not so sturdy human. It didn't break only because it was unopened.
Oh, is that why they break? That makes sense, I guess. Oh, another room. Okay.
Identical to the robes the guests are wearing. The pitcher is empty, but with puddles around it.
I have no reflection. I am a vampire. Someone washed blood.
Blood spots are adhered to the sides of the drain.
Someone did not do a good job of cleaning up after themselves. Or even try, really? I mean, seems like they made very little effort.
Props, decorations, and tools for a more detailed set.
Ooh.
This is a different ritual.
I found a scenario of some sort of ritual with a remark written at the beginning. It says, read and rehearse this rite, Manchios. The naked woman lies on the altar on a bed of flowers, symbolizing Mother Gaia. The one who leads the ritual oils the body of the woman to awaken her inner fertility. Participants should chant at this moment and call for the man who can please Mother Gaia. Then the man will impersonate the principle of life. Who will impersonate the principle of life may come to engage in sexual congress with her. Oh, so they tricked him into thinking he was going to be doing a sex ritual and then killed him. Manchio says no. Don't ignore the guests, Matista, and stop boring them. They don't want to hear about your stupidities. They want to feel how beautiful they are and how generous you can be towards them. You are here to please and celebrate life. Remember, each guest paid a great deal to be with you. Manchios.
How can anyone accept such behavior?
Makeup?
A useful tool for a disguise arsenal.
And what about this one?
Handcrafted and luxurious couplets. There's also a note. For my Fabio. Banchos.
Key. F.
The key is similar to the one that Vogel gave me. The capital F on the key fob might refer to Fabio. Would you recognize me in one of these? I suppose not.
Well, we find in all the clues.
Similar to the guest's robes, apart from the blood slit.
Alright, let's look what we got. We have the key to the altar room, which we already knew. Ritual dagger. A young man with a ceremonial knife stuck in his chest lies on a ritual stone in the altar room. It's Fabio. There's a lot of blood around, mainly coming from a wound in his chest. The lacerations on his head seem to be from a blunt force trauma. The left fist of the victim was clutching fabric. Fabio met his death here. A worm-like sigil on the victim's stomach was drawn with his blood, most probably. The victim had appeared to cover his slave branding with a crude tattoo. The murderer drew symbols of Mars and Venus on the walls with the victim's blood. Smoking lounge. Private room where guests can smoke in comfort. Oh. Need to go look at that. This room stores various decorations, costumes, and sets. Someone used the pitcher of water recently. The water drain has traces of washed blood. One of the guests may have taken the robe from here. Okay, that one we read already. That we read also. The tables in the dressing room were used by the performers to prepare for the rituals. They stored their personal belongings there also. Fabio's key is still on the table. Matista's table had a note and a scenario for Manchios. Okay, so it's this thing. Oh, hey, Vogel. Oop, now it's a clue. Gotta have the right thing selected.
A person leaned against the door frame. They left a smudged trail of blood. A bloody handprint on an armchair. The wounded person was here for some time. There appeared to be no further traces leading to the altar.
Different person got wounded. Okay, so we need to do this. We need to talk to Vogel.
Werner, care to explain what is going on?
Nights like these, it's not unusual for some attendees to get a little exuberant. It's part of the appeal. Unfortunately, it appears things have gotten out of hand. Yes, some are more prone to calamity.
That's murder. I doubt there's anything left to bend. Why did you not tell me immediately? We were chatting about trivial matters for some time.
If I'm completely honest, Sherlock, I've received a rather potent cocktail of substances. My attention slips and drifts, but I'm glad I thought to call for you.
You sent me a disguise.
Oh dear, did I? Well, since I found the body, Mr. Manchios has agreed that you can investigate the matter. I promise my mind will behave itself going forward.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, I need to dye my hair.
What is it about these nights that you were so eager to share with me?
Well, they're not always in the evenings, but they are in the shadows. People gather to test their boundaries in a safe and consensual atmosphere.
His eyebrows are so light, it almost looks like he has no eyebrows.
Point. Who are we to judge?
I suppose that's fair. What about today then? Was anything different?
Well, I was invited as a special guest. It was supposed to be a time of both divine and carnal pleasures. A scratch for every unconventional itch.
I imagine you're reeling from your shattered expectations.
On the contrary, I'm still spectacle, stimulation, and release, merely in a different form.
Mr. Manchos is the owner of the manor, yes?
And the host of Cordona's most memorable parties. He promises even the ugliest guest a partner for the night.
That's what the master for.
With more unconventional tastes, Mr. Manchios provides other services.
What a caring person.
We cannot begin to imagine.
How did you discover the body? In between guzzles of alcohol?
I was set to perform a fecundity rite with Fabio. I came to inquire further. There was a staged ritual where he was to play the principle of life.
And the rehearsal was unsuccessful?
Huh, who knows? I found him alone on the altar, his blood dripping to the floor.
And then?
Then I called Mr. Manchios. He was panicking, so I told him about you. We left the room and locked the door. Then, we were
Filling time?
waiting for you was stressful. We indulged in some simple comforts. Overindulged, perhaps.
Were you well acquainted with Fabio, the victim?
Everyone
Like
knew
his name was Fabio.
or wanted to. His beauty was the talk of the island. Too handsome to go unnoticed. He was magnetic. Fat wallets fought for the privilege of having him. He offered the pleasures of performance and more.
When you discovered the body, was the door open?
No, it was locked. Oh, that reminds me. It's a minor detail, but the first time I came to speak to Fabio, I left without entering, having been unable to open the door.
You didn't have the key?
No, I had it. Don't look at me like that. I was mostly sober. I suspect there was a key on the other side of the door, locking the lock.
That detail may very well be Major Vernon. Well done. So you returned later, only to find the lock was not locked.
Correct. After an hour passed, I tried again and was able to unlock the door. That's when I discovered poor, handsome Fabio.
The police remain unaware of this tragic event?
Some of them may be hiding behind their masks. They conceal anything. We didn't want the authorities to create more problems. Besides, after a few cocktails, their incompetence will absorb you.
How do you know I even wanted a kiss?
I promised you relaxation. If there's one thing I know about you, Sherlock, it's that nothing soothes you more than a good mystery.
What about the fertility ritual? There was something about Fabio being a principle of love.
Fabio was supposed to portray the beauty of life's origin. Flowers, oil, not this travesty that seems straight out of the Inquisition.
So this ritual is not the fertility rite. What was it meant to look like?
It begins with a woman lying naked in a flower bed on the altar. She represents Gaia, the earth. As I cover her in oils, we chant for the principle. As our calls reach a climax, Fabio enters and copulates with her. After he finishes, I stab her with a dagger. That part's just pretend, of course.
But the intercourse is not?
I did not expect you to be such a prude. Are you a virgin? It is not
You
something
can't see my
one would
cheeks.
expect from the cheeks. The fertility rite marks the start of our festivities. The principle of life is beautiful, intimate, essential. It must not be stopped.
Yet it appears that someone did stop it. What about the naked woman? Can you tell me anything about her?
Oh yes, Matista. She's one of Fabio's compatriots and a performer too. It's only today, actually.
Is John over there talking to himself?
Do you have any ideas about the case? Perhaps. I think I can deduce what happened here.
Vogel was invited as a special guest. The door was locked the first time Vogel tried to enter the room to talk to Fabio. After an hour, attempted to open again. That time, nothing blocked Gil from the inside, so he was able to enter. According to Vogel, Fabio was a performer, an entertainer for the rich guests. Batista was Fabio's fellow artist, and she worked with him. Mr. Manchos is the owner of the mansion. Okay. Yep. So this person is not going to be Fabio. blunt force trauma on the head. Oh, there's one by the door. Oh. Wait, is there another option before I leave? Sometimes there's more than one, two. Okay. Okay. And then first try.
Used as a weapon during a scuffle in the smoking lounge. Then, to ensure no one would interrupt, the murderer locked the door. The unconscious body of the victim was moved to the altar room. Once the body was on the altar, on with the blood. The wardrobe was used to hide the bloody robe from anyone's eyes. The killer washed himself and took a clean robe from the hanger before leaving.
Are you alright? You're on the floor, not moving.
I think I know what happened here.
Okay. Alright. So, Fabio's murder. The murderer attacked Fabio in the smoking lounge, striking his head with a wine bottle. The attacker then hurried to lock the altar room's door from the inside with their own key. The dying Fabio was dragged to the altar. The attacker pierced Fabio's chest with a ritual dagger and used his blood to draw occult symbols around the altar. The murderer hid the blood-stained clothes in the old wardrobe and washed the blood from himself and picked up a new robe or herself before leaving the altar room unnoticed. All right. So connect some clues here. The murderer had a key to the altar room. Fabio was killed in a ritual murder. We knew that. Or the ritual was a cover. Interesting. We'll have to see where that goes. Okay. We are done with that. So let's check our casebook. We have clear the murderer had a key. If I find out who had the key, I'll shrink the circle of suspects. Okay, so let's talk to Werner again.
I'm starting to put the pieces together. Fabio was stabbed. I see nothing gets past you, Werner. Yes, he was stabbed, but only after being knocked out in the next room and placed here. Do not want to know why.
So, who's responsible?
Well, it was one person working alone, and the murderer has now donned a robe. He or she could be hiding in plain sight. We have lost time, Werner, but your discretion may prove to be a benediction after all.
Okay. We want to ask about the key.
The murderer had to have access to this room. After the crime, he used his own key to lock the door. So, who had the key to the altar room?
I'm not sure. As a special guest, I was provided one by Mr. Manchios. He should be able to tell you of any others.
Where can I find him?
Most likely in the main hall, entertaining his guests. He has a mask with golden stars. You can't miss him. But please be discreet. We don't want to risk disturbing your revel.
Of course not. Okay, so golden stars. Maybe that one?
Kurt Manchios, I presume. I'm Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, you must be
Oh.
the one Bernard told me
I like his mask more than mine.
Sweet voice you have. It must belong to a handsome young man. Can I call you Sherlock?
Flirting already.
As you wish, Mr. Manchios. Mr. Vogel asked me to help. The body in the altar room requires answers, and quickly. I suspect the murderer to still be here.
What? Lower your voice. I don't want anyone to hear us.
Did you know Fabio well?
People are starting to look at us, Sherlock. Change the subject. Can't believe what happened to him. To me. Such an atrocity. Think what it means for me. A wonderful evening for so many good, influential, and rich people has been ruined. I have betrayed all my promises of exotic delights.
I don't understand. Surely a murder would affect your reputation to a greater extent.
Please, isn't this why you are here? I thought you were a silent magician. Do your tricks and make it go away.
Wow.
I need to find all those who
Rich people, right?
altar room. As far as I know, Mr. Vogel, Fabio, and you had access to it. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes. Also, Matista and Santos.
Santos. Who is that?
Santos Pinchetti, my major domo. When he's alone, at least.
I'd like to speak to Mr. Pinchetti and Matista. Do you have somewhere I might have a private conversation with them?
Of course, of course. Let me think. Matista is entertaining a guest somewhere, and Santos, yes, he will be busy with the servants. Or the court. What's that noise? What's going on?
Freeze, filth. You're under arrest.
What? Raided by the cops. What is with this music? Wow, he just kicked a man down the stairs? You got a smug face.
Committed a crime, and now I have to free you, kiss your hand, and apologize for the inconvenience. Your Grace.
I did tell you that Mr. Vogel and I were innocent. I emphasized it in my statement.
Your statement? Thanks to some bigwigs who work for the so-called good of the country by releasing fleas like you. Thank God we had Vogel in this lot. Once I get to their goldfish, I'll...
Bigwig. Wretched brother Mycroft and his long nose.
Wait, did you say Mycroft? Mycroft Holmes?
You don't even know my name? Man, these cops are terrible.
You knew my mother?
Not personally, no. Not exactly. I was working on the paperwork for that case.
Would you happen to remember anything of the events?
Well, I didn't make the inquiry, but I remember seeing some notes. Why?
You must help me. It would mean a great deal to me if you could find any information about that day.
Huh. Got you hooked, right? You know what? Start when you obviously feel the smartest here, thanks to you. Let me get this straight. Are you listening to me, Dad?
I'm all ears.
Take this case. Report to me only, to Constable Harvey Oswald. I'll leave everything I have in this table. Find the murderer. Be a real copper. Question the suspects, make them sing, give me something substantial.
And if Mr. Vogel is not a suspect?
If he's innocent, then you can take your favourite degenerate away from here. If you slip or mess with the evidence, then trust me, your brother won't save you from my blood. Meanwhile, I'll be checking the archive for you. If anybody asks, then you're a
consulting detective. Let's make a start then. Heart.
I'm glad we managed to get the scoop before the raid.
Report number 62-60. Following a report from a witness of the satanic ritual who claimed to have found a body, the raid on the Manchios mansion was granted. It resulted in the arrest of multiple suspects and dispersal of the group in mass in robes caught in acts of gross indecency and unnatural behavior. The body of the victim was found lying on an altar with a knife wound in his chest. The officers identified the victim, Fabio, 20, a local performer and artist. Arrested suspects, B. Vogel. B. Vogel had a letter of an insulting nature in his possession which had been written by the victim. He claims to have found the body. He is infamous for his eccentric personality. S. Holmes carried a murder weapon, a dagger with the victim's blood, and other items of evidence. He was invited by another suspect, B. Vogel, presumably to obstruct the official investigation. K. Manchios. K. Manchios, the owner of the mansion and organizer of the satanic party, paid the victim to participate in the ritual, had access to the crime scene. Matista, Fabio's partner and participant in the ritual, tried to escape, resisted arrest, owned a book with a description of the ritual performed in the altar room. Some of the guests are temporarily detained for further questioning. A key ring.
Back on track to solve the case.
The provider of this ticket has permission to inspect all evidence on case number 62-60. Witness to deposition. I, Santos Pinchetti, am a witness who reports a suspicion of murder at Manchios' mansion in Grand Surrey. During preparations for the social party, I heard loud noises from the closed altar room. Immediately, I thought of the sacrifice of a living being overviewed by none other than Kurt Manchios. There was blood on the walls, strange symbols, and a dagger in the heart. As soon as I was able to think clearly, I rushed to the police station to report my findings. The station responded to the deposition by sending a patrol, while the witness left the station and went home. Oh. They let him go. Interesting. Whoa, look at all this. Okay. I want to ask about these. Vogel. Okay. Police arrested me during the raid on Manchios' mansion. Constable Oswald freed me. He said he can find the documents relating to my mother's death in exchange for help in solving the case. I agreed. Constable Oswald will be in the archive during my investigation. He left everything he has for the case on the table. Chetty is a suspect who should be arrested and questioned. He had a key, which he did not mention in his deposition. Let's see, are any of these other ones? Guess that's it for now. All right.
Look, I found Vernon.
Who's this guy?
Good day, Mr. Manchios.
Oh,
I am Constable Oswald's partner in this investigation.
Be quick and gentle. Some of your colleagues are untrained boys. I'm meeting officers.
If you
Gross.
cooperate in finding Fabio's murderer, there will be no need to meet with the boys again.
Boys. Vernon's friend? You're the policeman. What a disappointment.
Only an undercover agent can scour a ditch for evidence. I am a consulting detective, although I'm capable of replacing the entire department in my consultations.
Short time, I like it. May I presume this time will get us out of this trouble? I would be so indebted and glad to repay you.
Nothing's changed. I'm looking for the murderer. That's the only way to get us out of the trouble.
But it shouldn't take much time, correct? We're all busy after
ugh, rich
I need
people.
to examine it first.
Observe. Wears makeup. Rash from dyes his hair. He does have a weird obsession with young people. Washed hands in a hurry. And he's expensive. Kurt Manchos is extremely rich, eccentric, and frivolous. He is the organizer of the parties for Cadona's elite and the owner of the Manchos mansion. He spends his life in the company of similarly overprivileged people. However, his being sociable in this manner has made him cautious regarding his health. He uses chemicals and hair dye to clean and improve himself to the extent that it damages his skin. Or wishes to hide his true age from the younger participants of his parties. He is concerned with aging to the point where he uses makeup. I think it's that one. He has a weird obsession with young people.
You are a little over the top with your use of makeup, Mr. Manchios. Is it so difficult for you to acknowledge your age?
Well, Sherlock, that's easy for you to say to an old man when you look as though you are barely 15.
But still, it shouldn't be an issue for someone of your status.
I mean, he definitely looks older than 15.
It isn't an issue, no. But the younger ones can be so afraid of wrinkles and gray flecks. I have to adapt.
Because you're a gross old man.
Who cares for his body but misses the soap under his fingernails? Are you so impatient or perhaps even impulsive?
I wouldn't call myself that. Silly little details. If I missed it, it wasn't important. Or rather, it was less important than who or what I was focused on.
Mr. Vogel told me a little about your parties, but I would like to know more directly from you.
I'm all yours, Sherlock. You have me arrested and locked here with your luck.
I'd like to know who you usually invite to your parties.
Free minds who are able to leave reality for an evening, who can taste forbidden fruit without prejudice. There is nothing that quite spices up life like these parties, assuming one is old enough and has worked many years for one's country.
Oh, true labourers, I see. Why did you invite Mr. Vogel as your social guest?
He's a pretty fellow. He's capable of surprising the public. He has a talent for saying words that no one else would wish to ever say.
I suppose
It's
I can't
true.
argue with that.
He is a free addition to the eccentricity of the party, which is fine by me, as long as it enhances my party.
What was Fabio like? His personality, his habits? Anything you can tell me?
He was the brightest star of my parties. Young, magnetic, and full of energy. I don't even want to mention his beauty.
You just did.
Others are weak.
Expensive champion, I imagine.
His performances were flawless. He deserved his payment. Do you think he was murdered because of money?
Possibly. What about the other guests? Were they used to opening their wallets as well?
I wouldn't restrict my guests from anything. I'm sure Fabio received a few coins from others for his services.
Okay.
That's not something I know much about.
Okay.
Do you have any idea who tipped off the police to raid your mansion, Mr. Manchos?
Of course. It was you. I could even say you Sherlock to me in years.
A good guess, but the wrong one. The fellow who did that was Mr. Pinchetti, your major domo.
What? Santos? But how could he even know? If he's not the murderer himself. The ungrateful swine. He has dared to besmirch my reputation.
Not a very eloquent choice of words.
What should I call him then, since he's a snitch? Make him talk, Sherlock. I'm quite certain he knows more about the murder than he has told the police.
Okay, I mean that. I want to ask him about.
I've no idea
No.
about that. That's not something
I already
know
asked him
much
about that, I suppose.
You bought an expensive pair of cufflinks for Fabio. Were they his price? Or were they a tip or an exclusive show?
It was pure business. escorted me a few times. I was merely showing my credit.
This pair cost a small fortune. You must be extremely grateful, then. Tell me more.
You've thrust a knife in an exposed nerve, Sherlock. Yes, he was my protege and my beacon. With my experience and his beauty, we could have achieved anything. I had faith in him. I would have made him.
Okay. Had some updates. Gifted the cufflinks for wants to express gratitude. Let's go to my palace. Set himself up for debauchery. Carefully prepared himself for depravity. Or cleaned himself of blood after Fabio's murder. Well, let's just stick with that one for now. Let's see. That's it for now. Let's go talk to another person.
I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm helping Constable Oswald. You are Matista, Fabio's friend.
This body, yes, it's Matista.
This body.
But it's a mere shell that will die someday. Just like Fabio.
Please accept my condolences for the fall.
Thank you.
I'm just here to ask questions and find Fabio's murderer.
It will not bring Fabio back.
She has a symbol on her chest. Why is her hair two different colors? And why do we not care about that? Is it just... Oh, it's just the shadow. Blood-filled bruises. Primitive occult tattoo. Inks herself. Bitten nails. Ooh, scars. Self-inflicted. Shackle scars. Slave tattoo. Batista, the performer and Fabio's partner, has had a difficult life. She was branded and enslaved while still a child. While enslaved, she met Fabio, hence their similar branding. Old scars are the result of her slavery during adolescence. She continues to be haunted by these traumatic experiences. She has a genuine interest in mysticism since she has tattooed her body with occult symbols. Batista tries to get over her past, and the life of a performer seems to be an opportunity for her to earn money. Or... Batista seems to be pragmatic about her body after years of abuse. She sells herself to the guests who do whatever they want to her. She's not afraid to step over the line. And she marks her body with ink. I think punishes. If the cuts are self-inflicted, seems likely she punishes herself.
Fabio and yourself were slaves, am I correct? You have a similar branding on your body.
Yes. It was a long time ago.
Couldn't help but also notice fresh cuts upon your forearms.
The cuts helped me to forget my past, to cover the old wounds and hide them.
How did you escape?
Something happened. One night the master fell down the stairs. I made him fall, and he died. We ran away that day. We managed to get on a ship and traveled here, to Cordona. Fabio and I started a new life here. It was very hard at first, but it became better with time. Until today.
The bruises on your neck are not self-inflicted. Someone else made them.
Some guests can't contain themselves. They even bite sometimes.
Okay. We need to have the right piece of evidence. Where are we done with her for now? Maybe? Let's see. Suffered bruises on her body from guess. I don't know why there's red. During the okay, I see. All right. Let's see. Where's Vogel?
Werner, are you alright?
Oh, yes, yes. Everything's fine. In fact, it's something of a family thing. My brother spent quite some time with it himself.
You should not be here. I told the police everything I knew, but they refused to let you go. They require proof.
Weird. Requiring proof.
The mighty Sherlock Holmes swans in, tells the officers what to think, and the world obeys?
Of course not. Anyway, I struck a deal with the constable, and I've got a free hand in the investigation. I find proof to solve the case for him. He obtains files about my mother's death for me.
Well done. If one has the power, the will, and can act, then one must. I wonder, suppose you couldn't get proof to your truth. Would you tell a lie to the guard that enabled my freedom, knowing my innocence? Would that not be just?
No.
There are lines I will not cross, Werner. I will do my best to secure your release, but with proof, not deception.
Really? How many white lies have you told on this island? Why not for me? Why not another?
That is absurd. I can resolve this without compromises. Do not give up hope.
What do I need to ask him about? You know about her?
I'll follow you here. I don't think I can tell you anything about this.
I have learned who told the police about the crime. It was Santos Pinchetti,
Do I know him?
the major domo of the manor. He cleans up after you.
Well, then he does his job perfectly. All but invisible. I couldn't tell you the first thing about him.
Okay. Is it empty? Yes. It's where I was. Nobody in that one. Where is the...
You'd better ask me a question I know how to answer.
This is...
I don't think I
Oh.
can tell you anything about this.
I don't want to ask him about anything
I'll
yet.
visit you later.
I need to find Santos. I don't know. I need to ask him about Santos. Let's see.
Have you considered Mr. Santos Pinchetti as a suspect?
The snitch? Have you seen him? I mean, my breath could knock him down. What's so special about him?
As a major domo, he has keys that open all the rooms, including the one to the crime scene. Could have testified only to circumvent suspicion, don't you think? We need to question him.
Right. I'll send our men to fetch you. Stay here. They brought him in, Mr. Holmes. Here's the key to interrogation room number 7. Mr. Mr. Pinchetti didn't even resist, Herman said.
Thank you.
Okay, so that brought him here. Oh. They're just hanging out here drinking. Alright. Whatever. Not that one. So this one. Alright, real quick. I'm just gonna be right back because I Okay, I'm back. Let's talk to
Mr.
Santos.
Pinchetti, a pleasure to meet you. I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm helping Constable Oswald.
I've already told him everything I know. I'm only a witness. Everything's in my report.
And I've read it. You forgot to mention that you hold the keys to the room where Fabio was found. I need only to find if the crime was intentional.
But I need to return to my duties.
I doubt the house will fall without you, Mr. Pinchetti. Just be still for a few seconds.
Observe. Santos Pinchetti is the head servant at the Manchios mansion. Despite being employed at the highest position within the household, he appears to be poor. His body shows symptoms of psoriasis. Mr. Pinchetti hides his damaged skin under layers of makeup. The majordomo's suit had multiple holes that had been patched or sewn. To renovate the suit's look, Mr. Pinchetti had dyed it. Or, despite having enough money, Mr. Pinchetti spends as little of it as possible. Cheap makeup hides imperfections on his body. In an attempt to look more modern, dyed his suit on several occasions. Saving more money, he appears to have personally repaired. No, I think it's that he doesn't get paid well.
You are the majordomo of a rich mansion, and you seem barely able to afford decent clothing. You hide under heavy makeup a skin disease that might be treated with more onerous but less harmful means. Do you have money troubles?
Do not have a lot of means. Pay is below what you might expect.
But you could easily change your job if your employer does not meet your elementary needs.
One can change his employer, that is true.
And the blood on your shoe, where does that come from?
I don't actually know. Perhaps from a guest.
Did you
I
know Fabio?
guessed.
Not personally. He was a frequent guest, and cleaning a mess after his performances was tedious. Mr. Manchios always had a role for him, and mainly the leading. The parties were always Fabio-centric.
And Batista? Was she as popular as her partner?
Don't tell her I said this, but I do not think so. Mr. Manchios hired her only because Fabio refused to work without her. Mr. Manchios used to see her as a worker. She was tasked with entertaining the guests.
fight. He appears to be poor. Okay. Okay. Okay, well, I don't have anything else to go off of here. So I need to. Oh, his belongings. He's got things here. Okay. Investigate that. His keys.
I recognize the key from the altar room among these.
A letter. A small note attached to the will says, Santos, my hopeful slug, you begged me to include you in my will, so I did. Here's my latest revision of the will. Kurt. The text of the will under the note. Santos Pinchetti, the major domo of the Manchios mansion, receives a jar of mustache wax and a salt lamp that he might always remember his caring employer, Kurt Manchios. Ooh. What an asshole.
Mr. Manchios says that you begged him to be included in the heritage. Isn't that a little extreme, even for a major donor?
He's not only my employer, he's my uncle. And I was next of kin. The only one. Mr. Manchios flatly refuses to pay a family member. All I have to do is repay his so-called love, cleaning up the filth after perverts and
Well,
decadents.
his tune certainly changed. I don't blame him for being angry.
That's why I wanted to have my part of the inheritance.
Is it that bad? You have a roof above your head, a salary, and the status of a major donor.
For God's sake. I'm forced to dye and stitch my threadbare clothes, and the holes in my shoes are painful. I'm ashamed every time a guest looks at me closely.
Why do you think your uncle treats you this way?
My mother, my uncle's sister, had me illegitimately. He died, and I was given the surname of one of her maids.
But you are entitled to some of the money that belongs to your family.
He thinks not. I was not responsible for my mother's death. I work hard, and he pays me nothing. I feed on the leftovers. While he wastes our estate's property on decadent parties, he paid Fabio handsomely and showered him with expensive gifts. A disgusting relationship.
Gonna want to talk to Kurt Manchios about that. Pinchetti has been forced to work for Kurt Manchios in the desperate hope of obtaining heritage, but it hasn't paid off. Alright, well, let's go ask that guy.
You better ask someone else.
This one.
I've read the letter about your will. A harsh method of ridiculing Santos. I doubt he will use mustache wax when he wears no mustache to begin with.
Where did you get it? Is the slug here? Tell him I shouldn't have to provide for him. He's a grown man who shouldn't sit on his uncle's neck. He conceives himself as my only heir.
And who is he to you?
He's a leech on my aging body, who has only added problems to my life since the death of his mother.
I fail to see why you made him your major donor.
He needed to know his place, so I told him.
Oof. Whoops.
Continue our investigation while I look at the papers.
I ask you something?
I usually have an answer for everything, not this.
Why is that a subject of conversation? Who am I supposed to ask about that? Can I leave something? Was it this room? John, you startled me.
I know I can handle the news.
What about Vogel? You got anything
I
new?
know you can untangle this mess.
Please let me.
Okay. Can I go back to... Oh, I've gotten all the evidence. What am I not learning? Well, that's done nothing. I think I went through everything. All I have is this evidence ticket. I don't know. Oh, I remember. There's an evidence room I've never used in any of our cases, which I totally forgot about. And there's a person here, and there's never been a person here.
The ticket, please, if you want me to help you.
Evidence ticket.
I'd like to check evidence from this case.
Who are you?
Oswald sent me. I'm a consulting detective.
His partner, then? Let me see. Ah, ritual murder. Thank you, Jennings. Wait a second. I'll bring it to the table.
They're also judging.
A heavily perfumed handkerchief with the initials KM in the corner.
Signet ring.
It's a miracle this ruby hasn't tempted anyone.
Come on.
All the keys of the mansion on one golden ring. A handcrafted charm that contains hair and nail clippings.
Gross.
A key to the altar room. That's not for bedtime reading. This ex libris belongs to Manchio's library.
The Power of Love, Blood, and Mandrake. The police found this occult book in Batista's bag during the arrest. According to the ex libris, the tome was taken from Mr. Manchios' collection. It contains illustrations and descriptions of a ritual similar to the crime scene. Prepare the naked body of a recently deceased object of interest. Draw symbols of Mars and Venus to enhance the power you possess. To use the force of male and female nature. Pierce his heart with a golden dagger to be rid of the blood that does not love you. Draw a symbol representing your love while waiting for the resurrection. Recite the charm. Oh.
The book describes a ritual similar to the one performed in the altar.
Letter from Fabio. The letter that was found in Vogel's evidence box. Is your mind unsound? You can't control your bitterness, not around me anyway. For me, it's too great a risk to ignore that kind of behavior. I can speak, and play with anyone I choose, and I'm not another Matista. You pay me, but you haven't bought me. Of course, I'll keep all your generous donations, even though they hardly compensate for your last terrible outburst. I'm leaving you, although Matista will still be around.
Not the time for privacy.
Interesting.
An emergency kit for boredom.
And
Werner's personal schedule. Thank you, officer.
I learned so much. Now I gotta go talk to people again. Alright. Time to go talk to them. You know, I gotta change. It's driving me crazy. Here we go. This one. Need to ask about that.
I read this letter from Fabio. It had no addressee, but it was found in Mr. Vogel's pocket.
Werner? Strange. I didn't think the two of them corresponded.
I'm sure there is some explanation. Would you care to read it?
Call me superstitious, but I don't care to read a letter from a dead man.
Do you recognize this book? Could Matista have borrowed it from your library?
She didn't ask me. How unkind.
Oh God.
The things described in the book were inspiration for the rituals you perform?
Do you really believe that blood, symbols, and incantations can resurrect the dead? They are just eerie tales with a mix of occultism and voodoo. My rituals are a stage to show some of their forbidden pleasures.
Okay. Now we need to ask her about the book.
This book, The Power of Love, Blood, and Mandrake, what do you hope to achieve?
To learn more about the invisible strengths that govern us.
She believes.
Occultism is real. The master who fell that night when Fabio and I escaped. I made him fall and cast a spell on him and it worked.
Or was it a coincidence?
The universe is really so lazy.
You say so. This is the letter the police found in Mr. Vogel's pocket. Fabio wrote it. Do you know anything about it?
I don't. Although I can feel Fabio's energy. It's there, but it refuses to let me analyze it.
Do you practice occult rituals?
For protection, for fortune, to wash away the ugliness of the world, sometimes to survive. I have the gift, and I'm learning to use it better.
Did you use your gift on Fabio?
I only used white magic, love charms lately. Fabio became so distant. I just wanted him to be with me, but I suppose I'm not as skilled as I thought.
She doesn't seem like she killed him, but
Please let me out.
I don't think I can tell you anything about this.
So the police found a letter from Fabio in your pocket.
I cannot tell if it was truly in my pocket at all. Perhaps it was placed there later.
Well, that is one hypothesis. If it were true, then how did it get there?
No clue. This night has been rather eccentric. Such a detail could have easily eluded me.
Indeed. You recall reading it?
I can't remember that either. But I tend to respect privacy. Reading others' personal notes is not one of my perversities.
So let's see. Judging by Kurt Manchio's reaction, he hadn't permitted Matista to take it. She claims she uses occultism for various purposes. She used some white magic on Fabio. Matista had an occult book in her possession with a description of the ritual that is similar to the crime scene. She mentions the use of white magic to bring back Fabio. Doesn't know how Fabio's letter got into his pocket. He didn't read it. Matista may have used ritual on Fabio. The letter may have been from Manchios. According to Santos Panchetti, and by the content of the letter, it may have been addressed. Okay. So now, what did we get here? Another thing to ask about. Need to ask Santos?
Please let me.
No. Manchios.
There is undeniable evidence that you were the original recipient of this letter.
What are you talking about? Is it addressed to me?
Your protege wanted a fresh start, it seems. This is sufficient to charge you.
Me? Hurt my star? Are you insane that you would accuse me of such a thing?
I'm leaning towards Batista right now.
As yours. Since you deny everything, let's move on. Do you have any idea as to how the letter could have ended up in Mr. Vogel's pocket?
You were the detective. Perhaps he took it from Fabio. Werner was a little high.
Denies any connection with the letter and claims Vogel took it from Fabio. Can I ask her about it?
Could Fabio have written this letter to Kurt Manchios?
Oh. That could be. I never thought Mr. Manchios could make Fabio that angry, though.
What do you mean?
Well, Fabio wanted to disassociate from Mr. Manchios. Clients who are in love are both a blessing and a curse.
But Fabio was here tonight.
Money. In our line of work, we can't afford to turn down clients who pay as well as Kurt Manchios.
Was Fabio afraid of Mr. Manchios?
Not at all. The old toad wouldn't dare to do more than sweet talk and touching. Talk can be forgotten, and touching washed away.
Interesting. I can ask Santos about it now, maybe?
Please
No.
let me.
I have reason to believe that the intended recipient of the incriminating letter may have been Kurt Manchios.
That makes sense. Too bad I can't possess it. Though I did spend quite some time with Mr. Manchios during the party.
Unfortunately, even with an answer, that may still not be enough to clear you with the police. Fear not, I will persevere.
I hope your attempt to put things straight will make up for
You being on a bender.
touche.
Okay. Vogel thinks it's possible it was addressed to Manchios. He is unable to explain how it came to be inside of his pocket. Batista agrees it may have been addressed to Manchios. Fabio wanted to break off all connections, but was unable to for financial reasons. Okay, so I need to go talk to Manchios again?
I can't wrap my head around such
No.
a tragedy.
Can I talk to you about it now?
Please
No.
let me.
Okay. There's still someone I need to talk to about it. Oh, the Oswald, maybe. Okay. I have, I think, maybe all the clues. And I don't know. She doesn't seem like she murdered someone. Manchios is so entitled. I went too far.
This letter proves nothing. Fabio wrote it to Mr. Manchios. It's time to free Mr. Vogel.
Do you really think I'm that naive? I need proof, not words from his friend.
That's fair.
Very well. Mr. Pinchetti told me that Mr. Manchios was lavishing Fabio with expensive and eccentric gifts. The letter mentions rich rewards and attempts to buy Fabio with them. It was written to Mr. Manchios. Who else was showering Fabio with luxuries to buy them? It doesn't fit Mr. Vogel's character.
Look here. We had a deal. Give me the murderer and then take your friend with you. I won't budge otherwise.
Well, fine, but you're just wasting time.
Okay. Okay, so who do I think Kurt Manchios is the murderer. For years, Fabio played with Kurt Manchios' heart and abused his interest in the young performer. When Manchios received yet another rejection, he murdered Fabio and staged a love ritual to avoid suspicion. Kurt Manchios was heartbroken and panicked and did not mean to kill Fabio. The improvised ritual was a desperate attempt to cover up the crime. A prison sentence should be enough, for his harsher punishment is the death of his love. Or, I really do feel like he is a sexual predator. Kurt Manchios killed Fabio in cold blood. He staged the crime as a ritual to blame Batista. He planted the letter in Vogel's pocket to avoid suspicion. Manchios has no consideration for the life of others and deserves to be hanged. Oh, I know I live in a place with the death penalty, but I don't want to be deciding that. I didn't go in to be a judge so I could decide people's fates. I didn't even go into law. I don't want to. I do think he's a sexual predator, though. He's real creepy, and he talks a lot about young people. He hit on Sherlock several times. He does not give two shits about anybody that works for him or anybody around him, really. I still don't feel good about it.
Continue our investigation while I look at the papers.
Okay, I need to go accuse him. J'accuse! Oh, one more.
The murder of Fabio did not have a ritual purpose, Mr. Manchios.
I'm only hoping I'm right.
By a man who wished to distract the investigation.
That might be true. That poor girl Batista wouldn't dare to kill the only man who cared for her. So, Santos,
Mr. Pinchetti snatched at the chance to solve his problems.
ungrateful little scum.
Will he be executed? But what for? He informed the police as to the crime, that was all. He couldn't stage the ritual, but he found the body.
I can't believe it. Why did Werner do it?
Mr.
This
Werner,
guy.
he had no reason, and he won't be a scapegoat as you planned. You put Fabio's letter in his pocket when he was intoxicated, didn't you?
You can't be serious.
You're at the twilight of your life. You have no partner, you have no children. You had feelings, however, for one man. That was Fabio. You loved him. That is, you wished to own him, with money and gifts. But he was also a free mind, was he not? He turned his back. Quite unjust. Love, so cruel and painful. And Fabio, with his words and deeds, made you feel more wretched. So you killed him.
You must surely perceive that my sensitive nature wouldn't allow me to hurt anyone.
We can very often deduce someone's life by their shoes or their fingernails. You are a meticulous person, but this murder was fairly traumatic. After you stabbed Fabio, you were covered in blood. You panicked and neglected to rinse the soap from under your fingernails. The devil is in the details, Mr. Manchios.
Nonsense. I missed it simply because of the busy schedule of the party.
Of course, a staged murder is certainly not planned. You staged the murder as a satanic ritual. It was easy for you, since you were the one who wrote the scenarios for the parties. It was your way of avoiding suspicion. A respectable man in his 60s, early 60s, who the cream of Cordona's society, not possibly be a murderer. But the guests who behaved like animals in his mansion, of course, one of them could have killed Fabio.
I did oversee a few of the rituals, but I did not stage Fabio's death.
Fabio played with your feelings. That was painful to realize. You spent so much time and effort to be with Fabio, but he didn't respond in the way that you would have liked. You wanted to be loved, but Fabio shattered your dreams. In the smoking lounge, he teased and mocked you. He wanted you to suffer by offering himself to others. The deception was unbearable. You were passionate, and so you
What is on my glove?
Once you understood your mistake, it was too late. You were afraid, so you staged the ritual. With such a story, you might be sentenced to a few years. It might clean your conscience, and soon the case will be forgotten.
No.
This is my decision. I'll talk to Constable.
Was I wrong? I don't know. He's such a creepy pervert. Oh, I can still change it? Maybe? What if I talk to her?
I'd weep if I had any tears left to
No.
recommend that some of my friends visit the
Bumble,
place.
you're so weird.
I'll remember this horror forever.
Well, I don't know if I'm right, and I don't feel good about it. I never feel good about the ending of these cases. Ugh.
There's no fool like an old. Kurt Manchios did it. A young boy played with the heart of an old man. The latter couldn't handle it. The evidence I obtained clearly shows that the quarrel was not intended to end badly. It was an accident.
Showing pity towards your own kind, Holmes. Whatever.
All I'm saying is that prison won't take much away from an old and crushed man.
Fine. A big name like that will still give me a promotion. As for my part, not everything was in place. Perhaps some documents were transferred somewhere else, but I couldn't find a trace of them. Then I remembered. The discarded document drawers where you put the lost papers or the badly labelled ones, including the crime scene report.
What's going on with his eyelids?
Everything I found is on the desk here. Take it.
Your persistence has saved me.
Yeah, well, we had a deal after all. Your friend is free then. You can leave.
Good luck, Constable.
Report number 07-43. Officers arrived to find the deceased, identified as Mrs. Violet Holmes, lying in the garden of Stonewood Manor. Visual inspection showed the victim to be thoroughly soaked with a deep vertical incision 2 inches in length down her throat. Her face was swollen and covered in red blotches. Likely cause of death, hypoxia. Awaiting confirmation from medical examiner. Main suspect, Otto Richter, was arrested on the scene. The body was sent for autopsy. Well, what's happening? Memories.
Garden. There's a garden behind our manor. How could I forget? That's where it all happened, where it all went wrong.
Sherry, it looks like you've almost found what you wanted.
Splintered memory. Another fragment of my past has bubbled to the surface. Alright. Oh, suffocation. Well, let's go to the manor and do a little memory, and then probably be done.
You did it, Sherlock. The case is closed, and all rewards belong to the winner. Bravo.
Oh, but we can do
It is
some
nearly
shopping
triumph.
first. We got paid.
Is it? No compromises? No lies? You're happy with your decisions?
It was the best decision I could obtain. The truth must be told in the way it is most acceptable.
You're making progress, Sherlock. I was right.
I don't know what that means.
By the way, did you get that precious information about your mother? Oh, not that you must.
Yes, I did.
Forgive my intrusion in such a personal matter. I simply worry I'm failing to be of much help to you.
Actually, you were. For some reason, all the archives on the case had disappeared. This was a rare opportunity to obtain the impossible.
Outrageous. Perhaps someone found the truth unpleasant. Society usually rejects those who speak with too much honesty, doesn't it?
A comfortable lie is often preferred to an uncomfortable truth.
True.
Still, I believe that the latter should prevail, and I cannot remain silent.
That's quixotism at its best. Your mere truth can't defeat institutions, systems, and power. Etiquette, religion, marriage, all lies told to preserve connections, love, and sanity. And it's all corrupt.
Background was doing
Lies
some weird stuff right
destroy
there.
human dignity. How could you make a free decision without any knowledge of the truth?
Are we really free to decide anything in this world, Sherlock?
I get enough obnoxious pontification from my brother, so please spare me your lecture.
Forgive my love for moral philosophy. I know I tend to ramble. You're You're a walking contradiction, Sherlock. You refuse to lie to others, but constantly lie to yourself. How long until the train comes off the track? I cannot look away, but perhaps I should take a few steps back. You're an accident waiting to happen, dear. Until then, I shall bid you adieu.
Huh. Well, that was interesting. All right, shopping and then home. Let's see. Nothing new at that. Oh, maybe we don't have any. We do. We have something over here. Old City Market. Meow.
Don't pass by. Welcome.
Come. Marhaba. It's a good day for a purchase.
A ritual dagger.
May your purchase bring you joy.
Okay. Any other furniture for me? Ooh. Miners Market.
Can I ask you a question?
We cry for help, you do nothing. So when you ask for help, what should we speak?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk to you. My bad. My B. Wait a minute.
The worst, step right up.
Oh, this is close. I don't want to buy any clothes.
Come here then.
Oh, my bad.
One man's trash is enough. Take a look. Maybe something will catch your eye.
Let's see. We got some stuff. Oh, ugh. Gross. What the hell is that? Buy it all.
You like what you bought.
Alright, homeward bound. What do we get update? Cabinet of Curiosities and the bedroom. Alright.
It looks exactly like it was a decade ago. I can almost feel the memories hitting me. Oh, I remember now. I never liked the way the books were sorted on these shelves.
That you didn't. Your brother often struggled to find his reading materials after our visits.
During our time at Stonewood Manor, Sherry and I would regularly visit the Cabinet of Curiosities. Sherlock was sometimes so bored that he'd rearrange all the books in his own particular order. He said it was easier to find the required book this way, but Mycroft never agreed. The last time that Mycroft was unable to find his desired reading material, he excoriated us for an hour and insisted we return the shelves to how they were. Tome travel.
Some light reading for my spare time. What a monstrosity. Where could such a creature even survive?
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Watkinson and Holman, Chapter 1, by Wallace Diora.
Oh, another memory. Oh, we already did that one. I guess that's all that's new here.
I'm not sure I want to hear its horrifying inhuman howl again. 1852, Bingley, West Yorkshire.
Oh yeah, I did
Photo
this.
caused a lot of fuss. My mother spent some time to prove it was a fake.
Rose. Oh, that's new.
An excellent example of Mayan culture from Guatemala.
And real, apparently? Okay, that one's been updated. And now, let's go back to my room.
I can sense an incoming memory, Sherry. You.
I'm so frustrated to find only one bed in this room. Mycroft initially refused to bring another for you, but after a week-long dispute, he gave in.
Stubborn man. How well do you think you'd sleep without bed?
Shortly after our arrival, Sherry clashed with Mycroft about the furniture. I needed a place to sleep, but there was only one bed in our room. Outrageous! Convincing his older brother was a challenge, but after a week-long dispute, he finally gave in, and I became the proud owner of my very own bed. Oh look, we finished the tale of the empty house. I guess we've gotten all the furniture? Tomb travel. Oh, these are the ones we just read. And that's all done. Nice. All right, let's. This is gonna be back here.
Sherry, please listen to me. Sherry,
John, I always listen to you.
you don't have to do this. You don't have to go through. I don't know what's beyond this door, but I can feel it. Buzzing, angry, like a fly at the window.
You know, I can sense it too.
You locked away this memory for a reason. There is only pain here.
Pain. And truth.
You do not need to suffer either. There is so much more we can do on Cordona. So many others we can help. There is no coming back from this.
Oh, well, then I'll return later because we still have other cases to do.
Perhaps now is not the time, with so much left to do.
Thank you, Sherlock. Thank you. Some doors can remain closed.
Dona still calls for us, yes. And we will answer. But know this, John. One way or another, we will find ourselves back in front of this door, unable to avoid the truth any longer.
Alright, so next time we can take on one of these. We can work on the treasure quest, perhaps. Or continue on one of these other stories. I'm not sure. But thank you for joining me. I enjoyed Sherlock Holmes as usual, and also hated it. It's like a weird, love-hate thing going on with this. I feel bad about my decisions. I don't know if they're the right ones, but, I mean, we're progressing through the game, so. They're not real. I'll remind myself. Not real people. Not real sentences. Don't want to ever be in charge of that. Thanks. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I'll be around tomorrow for some more Rogue Legacy. I may or may not happen. We'll see if I progress any in between. I may just be jumping back into Satisfactory with my friend who's currently playing it right now. But we'll see. But thank you for joining me. Have a good day.